Maybe the decision should be to shove the cannon up your ass. But I want to smack you. Just shove it in. Get out. Maybe the decision should be to shove the cannon up your ass. But I want to smack you. Just shove it in. Get out. Maybe the decision should be to shove the cannon up your ass. But I want to smack you. Just shove it in. Get out. Maybe the decision should be to shove the cannon up your ass. But I want to smack you. Just shove it in. Hold on. Here we go, here we go. Oh, yes, we're back. Right? Not back. I'm new stream. Yes, yes, yes. Hold on. Let me some music in the background. There we go. Well then. Welcome, everyone. Olas Tushkaraj. This is jorgiguel and oh god, I hope I don't screw this up. Today I had to do double work just to get this up. Anyway, oh boy. Yes, today I'm gonna do a servant war room, which, if you're new to this channel was basically started with this. Yes, I started with Jorg. What's the story behind that intro with the cannon? The intro with the cannon? What do you mean by that? Wait, is it not? Oh, it is updating. Oh, but it's not showing you up. What do you mean by intro with a cannon? Anyway, wait, hold on. Mind is focusing on multiple things. Let me fix the filter here. I can make this look better. No. I guess I should just have it like this. This is readable. I don't know what you mean by cannon. You'll have to specify. There we go. Could be better. I'll have to fix the chat eventually. Anyway. Again, I don't know what you mean by cannon. But if you specify, I might be able to help. Is the music too loud or should I put it lower? Don't know how it sounds on your end. Anyway, moving on. Today, I'll be doing a Servant War review. Servant War Room, yes. Where basically, I go through a servant and their multiple iterations, and I determined whether or not they're any good for a war. For a Holy Grail war. This is mostly Fate mumbo jumbo, so if you're not into Fate, should I explain it if you're not into Fate? Maybe I should. Okay then. I will do a very small introduction. Okay. So, this channel started with me doing these type of videos, where I would pick up a servant from the Fate franchise, and I would do a very brief analysis on what they can do, and I would determine how good they would be in a Holy Grail war. And you might be wondering, well, what is a Holy Grail war? Well, a Holy Grail war is basically a battle royale between 7 wizards and 7 spirits, and the servants are the spirits. And yes, Medusa, my top servant waifu. You, my sir, I would give you a medal if I could, but I cannot. But you have good taste. Culture. Like someone who understands culture. Anyway, um, and the reason why I do this is because most servants have actually not participated in a war. Shock. Ever since Fate Grand Order came out, the vast majority of servants just never have been in a war, so most people don't even know how good they are. Like, gameplay-wise, they might be mediocre, but they're actually very powerful, or the other way around, they might be absolute powerhouses in the game, but in a real Holy Grail war, they're really not that special. And that's basically what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna analyze all the three Medusas and see how well they was faced. One of them most people probably already know, which is the Rider Medusa, and that is the order I'm going to take. I am going to do Medusa Rider first, her adult form first, followed by the Lancer form, which I am gonna call Anna, and then followed by her Avenger form called Gorgon. And that is how I'm gonna call them. I'm gonna call them Medusa, Anna, and Gorgon, respectively. Okay, good. Let's start this. I don't know how long this is going to take. And so we will start first with Medusa, her Rider version. Okay then, so first thing we have to look at is her stats. Now I'll be very honest, stats don't really matter that much for servants. Fate is very inconsistent with stats. You have servants with very high... Normally it's actually the other way around. You have servants with very low stats who are capable of doing very powerful things, such as, for example, Gil the Ray's caster version, being able to crush children's head with his bare hands, and he's supposedly not very strong, but he's strong enough to just smash people, apparently. And then you have people like Artoria, who has a very high rank in strength, but can't lift Shiro without using her mana burst ability. So stats are very inconsistent. Some servants it matters. However, because I am doing all three of the Medusas, I will take a bit into account because it serves as a good comparison, right? Like I can look at the Rider version and then look at the other two versions and Medusa Rider, as far as Medusa Rider stats go, her stats are pretty much what you'd expect. She has the very high agility and her strength is pretty decent, but her endurance is pretty bad. And it makes sense because in Fate Stay Night, she was very easily dispatched once she was hit. The only problem was just hitting her. But once she got hit, she normally had to retreat because that was pretty much done for. She was pretty much done. So, stat-wise, there's not really much to say. As far as feats goes, I'll go that in a bit later. But stats-wise, she just has a very good impressive agility, and her strength is pretty decent. Everything else is just kind of there. Luck doesn't really matter. It's very niche. Mana is also very niche, and NP doesn't really matter until we get there. So, what about her skills? Well, every class has a passive skill, or well, not passive skill, has a class skill, which is skills that basically come with the class. And because she's the Rider class, she comes with the magic resistance and the riding class. So, as far as it goes, her riding class doesn't really matter as far as war goes. It is very high, but it doesn't actually matter because in the prospect of a war, right? Because she does have a mount. If she didn't have a mount, it might matter, but because she does have a mount, the riding skill is just, she's really good at riding vehicles. Hey, maybe if you are someone who's in the military, you could get her a tank or something, but aside from, or a jet plane, but aside from those exceptions, it's not really gonna matter. It's like, you giving her a car is not gonna make her, is not gonna change the war in any way. But she does have the riding skill, which means that she can ride pretty much whatever she wants. I think the only thing she can't ride are dragons and divine creatures with his skill. As far as magic resistance goes, it is B, which is above average. she will deal with mages very well. Magic resistance basically means that they are essentially immune to magic to a certain degree. High level magic will hit her, but anything below that is is going to be reduced to a significant amount. And while there's not really I don't think there is a feat of that happening in the visual novel. In the Dean's adaptation, I know, it hurts just to say it. I know, I'm also crying. It hurts to say that. But in the Dean adaptation, there is a small skirmish between her and Castor, and you can kind of see there that Castor's magic is not really having much impact on her, thanks again to that magic resistance. So that means that Medusa Rider version inherently has a bit more resistance and deals a bit better with casters and also other masters. Moving on to her personal skills, meaning skills that she naturally has that doesn't come from her class. We can start off with independent action. She will write whatever she wants. Do you even hear yourself? I'll be very honest, considering what she has done, I'm not lying. Oh, you'll see once I get there. And it's next slide, so just wait. I can see the next slide right there. Anyway, moving on to her personal skills. Independent action. Independent action basically means that she can function mostly independent without the need of a master. At rank C, I believe she can survive 24 hours without a master, which for her is relevant, but for you, the master, is not really relevant because you don't really want to lose her. So as far as the practice of a war goes, this skill is mostly just to send her off into missions that require very long distances, which is kind of what happened in Facing Night. Ryder was normally seen alone, and only a few times would you see her with her master. Now let's go with the other skills, which I can talk about divinity since it also doesn't really matter. Divinity is mostly just a flavor skill. It does have some applications against certain niche abilities that have like divinity checks, but outside of that, divinity is mostly just a flavor skill that just says that yeah, she has divinity. It's a pretty low skill because again, Medusa, someone who went from a goddess or an oracle, depending on the version, into a demonic being. So now on to the two other skills, which are the ones that probably matter the most. Monster Strength, rank B. Very simple. She can just make her very powerful and surprisingly strong, actually. Medusa is very strong. She can... There is the very iconic situation that happens with her and Assassin. The true assassin, where she just has him, how do you say it? She twirls him around like he's a ragdoll, and there's nothing he can really do. So yes, she is much more stronger than she looks, and she can just bump her strength up. But now let's go to the final skill, the Mystic Eyes, which are, of course, the most important part. Because Medusa is famous for her petrification eyes. And that's exactly what these mystic eyes are. I'll be very honest, this skill is just Noble Phantom level. Whatever she looks, if it's organic, will turn into stone. That is it. She has no control over it, meaning that she can't choose who her targets are, she just has to look at them. Now, there is a condition, there is a check. The targets do have to have mana B or less. No, not mana B or less. Mana B or higher to be able to resist it. However, even if they have mana B, they will slowly turn to stone. And if they have higher than rank B in terms of mana, their speed will be downgraded by 1. Which, if we remember, with Medusa's stats, which we can check right here, her main stat is agility, which means that she basically is making everyone slower while she maintains her speed. these Mystic Eyes are ridiculous. They are pretty much a KO on any master because most masters are just average humans. They do well, not average humans, because they're Magus. They would be above average, but they're still just humans at the end of the day. So if they get hit by this, they're dead. It might take a few more minutes here and there, but they are generally instantly killed. Very good example of that is Shiro, who just gets turned to stone very quickly. But even servants will be turned to stone very quickly. Very good example, Archer, who's from Fate Stay Night, who's a very good servant also, but who, just by her looking at him, he starts turning to stone. And these Mystic Eyes are her greatest weapon. It is what makes her probably one of the strongest servants out there. Well, not one of the strongest, because there's a lot of broken ones, but prior to Fate Grand Order, she was by far one of the strongest servants out there. Anyway, moving onwards, now that we are gone with the skills. Hey, remember when you said she will ride whatever she wants? Let's talk about that. So, Breaker Gorgon, we're talking about the Noble Phantom, so their special weapons. Breaker Gorgon is, well, essentially her mask. It is what she uses to prevent her eyes from turning other people from stone. And there's a lot of nuances about the Breaker Gorgon that I didn't know, and I learned essentially. So Breaker Gorgon is more than just the mask. Breaker Gorgon is actually an ability that she can use on others. It is basically it is both a self-sealing ability, meaning that it is in its form of a mask, it will basically seal whatever it is containing. So in her case, it will be her eyes, and it will seal everything, including its magical properties. So, fun fact, Medusa is actually blind while she's wearing that blindfold. Which, I know that sounds like it should be obvious, but I legitimately never knew. I thought she could see, but no, she's actually blind. Which means she fought the vast majority of the war while blind, which is mind-blowing to me. How she even did that. But alas, what is this? Her mystic eyes are too beautiful for this world, so most people get killed with a stone. Oh, everyone gets hard when she looks at them. But what was that going? Right, she's blind essentially because of this. Now, as far as Fate Stay, but even though she is blind, as far as we saw from Fate Stay Night, it doesn't really affect how she maneuvers. When Breaker Gorgon causes Shiro to have, yes, that is the other part of Breaker Gorgon. Breaker Gorgon is also an hypnotic ability that basically allows her to, at will, just force other people into her mind, which she uses on certain people to get mana out of them through various means, including not safe for work means, and other means such as drinking their blood, as you see in the picture. I will not be posting not safe for work means because that would get me banned, but hey, you have Google for that, you know. Not that I advertise that. Yes, you did not hear that from me. Moving on, as far as Breaker Gorgon goes, Breaker Gorgon is mostly just it's mostly there for flavor in terms of wars. There's not that many applications you can use it in the war, outside of just stealing off her eyes. And that's where Breaker Gorgon's just, kind of there. But now let's go to her other noble phantoms, which is where we're gonna get the the actual power. And the second noble phantom she has, Blood Fort Andromeda, which is essentially a manifestation of her home island, where she was basically exiled with her sisters. Oh wow, it's not showing properly down there. Wait, hold on. That shouldn't be how it's showing. Why is it showing that? Hold on. That shouldn't be happening. No, that's not what I wanted to do. Okay, there you go. I don't know why that was showing. Why it didn't show in the other ones? Why did it show there? That was weird. Anyway, Bloodfort Andromeda. So Bloodfort Andromeda is a... how's it called? Bounded field. Exactly, a bounded field. Which is basically a magical field that can be set up in terms of, as far as Magus are concerned. However, this is a Noble Phantom, meaning that it is by far a lot more powerful. It takes several days to set up, and it can be slowed down even by your normal Magus, who can just go around and destroy the various seals that are setting it up. However, once the Bloodfort Andromeda is being set, it is very difficult for a single Magus to actually dismantle it, because Medusa can very quickly just build them all over again. Right? That was exactly what was happening in Fate Stay Night. Rin was going around trying to get rid of the seals, and next day they were doubled. So there was not really much she could do outside of just delaying the inevitable. So what does it do? You know it happens eventually. So what does it do? Well, this little thing is terrifying because it just melts and turns everyone inside into mana. And that's essentially what this is. This is a weird one because this is not really an offensive Noble Phantom, but it's also not a defensive one. It's kind of how do you say, a mana resource kind of Noble Phantom, because you can't really use it offensively. You can't really just set it up against an opponent because you need so many days to build it up, and it's very easy for a Magus to find it, so you can't really use it offensively. And you can't really use it defensively because you don't want to be inside of it once it's active, because dear god, you're pretty much dead. Although I guess Shinji was kind of unaffected, so I guess the master isn't affected by it. Yeah, it does. Yeah, now that I'm thinking of it, you probably can use it defensively. But this is mostly just used for harvesting mana, which was how it was being used, where it was set up in the school, and they wanted to turn everyone inside the school into paste and kill them all and just suck all the mana out and basically make Ryder stronger. Outside of that, there's not really much uses for it. But we will get there once we get to tactics. And finally, let's go on to her more powerful one, and probably the one that really puts her on the top, Bellerophon. So Bellerophon is not the Pegasus you're actually looking at. Bellerophon is a bridle and a whip set that she summons and allows her to ride pretty much whatever she wants. Like, if it is a creature, she can ride it, so long as she puts it on it. Which has the implication that she can technically ride other people's Noble Phantoms, which would be kind of funny if they ever did that, but alas. However, in the case of the Pegasus, because the Pegasus is a divine creature, and her riding skill doesn't allow her to ride divine creatures, this Noble Phantom allows her to ride it, but there is a bonus, because Pegasus are basically pacifists, and they don't really like fighting. And this Noble Phantom allows Medusa to basically turn the Pegasus into a berserker and make him go mad and smash against opponents. Which is relevant because Pegasus are, while not the strongest, they are very, very tanky. They have the durability of a dragon, which is one of the strongest mythical, no. What is the name? Phantasmal creatures in the Naziverse, in the Fate franchise. Which basically means that Pegasus is one of the strongest Noble Phantoms as far as Fate Stay Night goes. Outside of Aya and Excalibur, it's probably in the third place. Extremely tanky, extremely fast. It is powerful enough to require Saber to have to use Excalibur. Let's put it that way. That's how powerful it is. It's an anti-army, it just rams into people, and once Medusa is on top of it, you need a weapon close to Excalibur to be able to deal with it. So, that's all the Noble Phantoms, so let's move on to the other part, which is her personality, because her personality matters. Well, kinda. Let's be very honest here. Medusa is a very obedient servant. If there is a word to describe Medusa, it would be loyal to a fault. Even when having to deal with trash masters, she will just do whatever they tell her. And that is it. Her personality is very simple. She's someone who overthinks a lot, and it's generally kind. I would say that her natural personality is on the kinder side, but she does have a sadistic side. She does have things that tick her, and there are things that can irritate her. However, if you are her master, you're pretty much safe. You could do the worst things to her, and she will not lift a finger against you. Which, I mean, just look at this garbage human being here, right? He did a lot of bad things. Moving on then. Let's talk about what does Ryder have a lot. Not what has a lot, but rather what would be the traits that I would say that Ryder has. So Ryder has loyalty, has power, and she has speed. There's not a lot of flaws that she has. In fact, if I were to say she has a flaw, it would be her loyalty, which I know it's kind of insane to think that her loyalty would be her flaw, but it is kind of her only flaw. Overall, she doesn't really have a flaw. She has the power because of Pegasus and her eyes. She has the speed, being one of the fastest servants, and she has a loyalty because she'll basically do whatever you tell her, no matter how ridiculous. The one weakness she does have is that, well, if you are a stupid master and you tell her to do a stupid thing that might get you and her killed, she will do it anyway because you told her to do it. That might be her only weakness. So, now that we're done with that, now that we're done with all of that, let's get in with the tactics. How best to use Medusa in a war? Well, I actually didn't prepare for this one. This was mostly just a brainstorm. Hold on. Why does it keep doing that? Oh my god. Whatever. Medusa is definitely someone I'd want. MEA is my top servant, but he'll betray you for his own goals. Best choice is always Medusa. I will eventually do an MEA one. I actually disagree with you that he'll betray you for his own goals. But this isn't the video for that. Or maybe it is. I can answer that. It doesn't seem that difficult to answer. I would disagree with you. I can understand the logic. And if someone said, I'm afraid of him betraying me, I agree with you. However, I will say that Emi at the end of the day did not betray Rin because he did make Rin the winner. It's just that the way he did it had a lot of bad endings along the way, so it wouldn't be the best. As far as relationship with Shinji, I think that had less to do with being obedient, and Enu currently more to do with loyal, honoring your commander. No, I actually checked it, and she will basically do whatever her master tells her. That's actually canon. It doesn't really matter. But I will agree that Sakura did play a role in her becoming a bit more obedient. Master nerfed her and it's insane how having Shinji as a master nerfed her in Fate Stay Night. Well, Shinji would nerf everyone just for being a Shinji. I summoned her directly that she'd have been so obedient. You put it that way, I can kind of agree, but that's mostly because of Sakura. If Shinji had been the one summoning her and Sakura was there, I would agree with you. But any other master who doesn't have a Sakura there, I will say that Medusa is more likely to do what she's told. There probably are limitations. There are probably things if you told her to do, she'd be like, no. But I don't think she would ever stab you in the back for it, because she truly does believe she is a tool. Detect is hot, although Maid Medusa is better. And there's swimsuit. Oh, swimsuit Medusa, please. I want actually swimsuit Gorgon, please. Give me the Gorgon. Anyway, tactics. I have to put my mind. Tactics. Right. So how best to use Medusa? So here's a very simple tactic that can be used with Medusa, and it's very effective. Blood Fort Andromeda. So Blood Fort Andromeda is an ability that is mostly used for collecting mana. However, it's also very easily detected. Now that in itself is a problem, because if you use it very close to yourself, or in an area that you're always in, then it's very easy for enemies to find you. However, listen to me, what if you use it to distract enemies? Just have Ryder, Medusa, going around the city and just spreading seals all over the place, and just have all the masters just confused as to what's happening. Eventually, they are just too busy trying to get rid of them, or they just stop getting rid of them, and you can start spreading them even more in specific areas where you want to hit the enemy. That's a tactic. Considering Ryder's ability to move around is pretty high, you could probably do that to a successful level. However, that's mostly a diversion tactic. It's mostly a tactic to just keep other people distracted and also keeping them away from you. You do have to be a bit careful, because if you're putting seals everywhere except where you are, there will be people who will kind of figure out that, wait, there's an area here that's not being targeted for some reason. Let's check it out. Outside of that, there's not really much tactics to use with Ryder. While she's not like an exceptional fighter, right? She's not a knight, she's not a samurai, she is, why did this really, oh my god, stop. Well, she's not a knight, she's not a samurai, she's not a specialist in combat. She's still decently fine because she has the agility, and she does have the strength to back it up. She also has probably, you know, one of the more interesting fighting styles thanks to her chains, where she can just jumps around and deals with everyone. The other part would be her eyes. Don't be like Shinji and say, don't use your eyes. No, use them, because it is her biggest trump card. I would say her eyes are even more powerful than her Noble Phantom. Like, her eyes, like, it is insane to think that if Shinji had just been a little smarter, he could have just had Ryder right from the beginning take off her mask and turn Rin and Archer to stone. Just like that. In mere seconds. And he never did it. Mostly because he wanted to do things with Rin, and he couldn't do it if she was stone, but that's besides the point. Maybe he should have sought with his higher head instead of his lower one. But don't be like Shinji. Use the eyes. It is her greatest weapon. It is what makes her a very powerful servant. And outside of that, I don't really think there are that many tactics going for her. She's overall just very balanced, but in high regards, right? She's very fast. She's very powerful thanks to her Pegasus, so she can mostly bulldozer against most enemies. And she's very loyal, so there's not like you need a specific way to interact with her. So there's not really much to say. Just the only unique thing that I would say you could do is using her Blood Fort Andromeda in a more distractive way. Other than that, there's not really much tactics going with her. Two of the only tactics is Blood Fort in her eyes. She proceeds to use Medusa to nearly save her altar. I mean, that's not really a tactic, that's just a combat. It's like using your servant to fight another one. I wouldn't call that a tactic, right? That's just a fight. And also, it's important to note that Shiro is an abnormal master. Shiro can project Noble Phantoms. That is not something you expect. Shiro is Shiro is both an incompetent magus, but also a ridiculous master. Right? He is one of the few masters that can kill other servants. So he's kind of an alien abomination. His tactics are very different from your normal magus. When I say that there's no extra tactics that you can use with Medusa, what I mean is that there's no specific, like, unique tactic with her, right? The tactic with her is very simple. You just go around, you fight other servants, and you're probably going to win. Unless they are like a Gilgamesh or an Arturia, they're probably going to lose because she just has too much power. At any moment, she can just turn the enemy master into stone if they're in the near vicinity. The servant themselves must have a high mana rank, or they can turn to stone. And the mana rank is random because you have servants who are very weak but have a very high mana, and then you have servants who are like super strong, like for example Iskander from Fate Zero, who has like barely any mana and would just be instantly turned to stone. So it's like you can't even say that her mystic eyes are dependent on the level of power of the servants, because it's very random. Some servants just have very low mana and others have very high mana. So it's kind of like a coin flip. But even if even if they don't get turned to stone immediately, they're still slowed down. They become very easy targets to Pegasus, which you need like a very powerful Noble Phantom to deal with to begin with. That's just not really like a specific tactic. She just goes in and she's probably gonna bulldozer whoever comes in front of her, or turn their master into stone because they're in the vicinity. I mean, that's the tactic. Just bulldozer your enemies, I guess, and turn the masters into stone if they're nearby. There you go. That's a tactic. Kill the masters, and if that doesn't work, just kill the servants. What are they gonna do? What are they gonna do? As Hidden Gem said very well, just don't be Shinji and you're probably gonna win the war. There you go. That's the tactic. Anyway, hold on. I need to do something here. I should have done this before, but I forgot. Anyway, moving on to the last section of Medusa Rider, which is, what is her rank, right? What would I rank her in terms of power level? Because apparently that's something I do. Oh, come on, man. Why does that happen? I think it has to do with the image size for some reason. It changes depending on the image I have. However, what would be her rank? Well, considering that she is essentially a very loyal servant, and that she would be, well, let's say, almost impossible to deal with for average servants. I mean, let's be very honest. You summon her, you won the war. Like, it's gonna be something like that. So, wait, hold on. I can make this bigger. Grow. Oh, God. It didn't grow the way I wanted it. There we go. There we go. An EX. Yes, Medusa, he is EX. Let's be very honest. The only type of servants she's gonna lose is against other EX servants, against other very powerful servants, or against direct counters. And those are far and far between, right? Most wars are not gonna be the fifth Holy Grail war where every single servant is like ridiculously powerful. Most wars are gonna be like the fourth Holy Grail war, where you have like one or two big guys and then you have a bunch of weaker guys, right? That is mostly how good wars goes. And if Medusa is one of those, then she just wins because she smashes everyone, and they need very specific artillery to deal with her, like an Excalibur or above. So yeah, there goes. She's an X. A very simple servant to deal with. Very easy to deal with. You're not gonna have that much difficulties cooperating with her. She's basically gonna do whatever you want. She does have a caveat though, right? There is a problem with her, which is that she is only as good as the master is, which means that if you are dumb, like Shinji, then you're gonna lose. And she's not really gonna help you that much. But if you're just competent, I wouldn't even say competent. I think so long as you're not Shinji, you're fine. you're fine. You're probably going to win, or at the very least get to the end, right? I don't see like I think to lose with Medusa, you need to do it. You have to be doing it on purpose, or there's just way too many ridiculous servants in the war, which isn't very common. But to be honest, I don't think this is that. How should I say? I don't actually think this is like anything new. I think most people are aware, especially nowadays in the Fate community, that Medusa is a very powerful servant. I mean, almost everyone in Fate Stay Night is very powerful. Would be a rank A, then a rank EX. I don't know. I did question whether I would put her at a lower rank. However, I think what pushed her to EX is the fact that she's one of those few servants where you really don't have to care about her. When what I mean by that is, most servants that are like EX, you have to deal with them with certain ways, right? So for example, Gilgamesh, right? I haven't done a Gilgamesh a video on him, but I think most people can agree that if you have Gilgamesh, you've won the war, right? There is like a 0.1%, no, 0.00001% chance of you losing that war, because Gilgamesh is just that powerful. However, you do need to know how to deal with him. You can't just pick him up and just go, let's go Gilgamesh, and we start trashing him. No, you have to deal with him in a very specific way if you want to win. And most EX servants have that problem. You have to deal with them in a very specific way to get to actually win, right? Medusa is not the case. Medusa, you just grab her and you go. And you don't have to care whether or not she's liking you. You don't have to care if she's gonna backstab you. She's never gonna do that. She's gonna do what you tell her. And there you go. And in an average Holy Grail war, she's just gonna slaughter everyone. In a higher Holy Grail war, in a Holy Grail war with stronger servants, I will say that her odds do go down significantly. However, her Mystic Eyes are still powerful enough to just one-shot any master that you can find. You just have to change your tactics according to the difficulty, right? So if you're in a war with a lot of stronger servants, going after the masters will be the priority. But again, that's not really that hard, because Medusa is by nature, although she doesn't have the stealth skill, she's very stealthy. She's borderline an assassin in terms of how she fights and acts. So you can very easily, if you have Gil, you will proceed to die in every Fate Stay Night route. as it was said, I don't remember. I think it was Nazwa himself who said, as it is said, Gil did not lose the war, he lost to love. But anyway, that's my opinion. I do agree with you that Medusa can be in lower ranks. However, you're all making a good argument that Shinji, but Shinji, it's like, how many Shinjis are there that would lower her rank? Like, again, I think you need to be like bad on purpose to ruin it. But you are making a good purpose. Shinji did fail. Do I change her? I guess I could make the argument of an A+. Okay, no, you know what? I'll do that. That Shinji argument makes sense. You're right. Not everyone can win. Very good. Not everyone could. But hey, Shinji also had Gilgamesh, and Gilgamesh lost, so he might just be Shinji curse. But I'll put her at A+. And I'll put her A+ for the argument that I was going, which is that against higher servants, her odds do go a bit down. I do think that that's a mute argument, because everyone's chance goes down once you're against equal or stronger opponents. However, I kind of do agree that when I really think about the EX servants, right, Karna, Arjuna, Gilgamesh, Moriarty. She does start to look a little bit weaker. So okay, I'll put her at A+. Okay. I'll agree with that. Anyway, I think that's enough Medusa. Let's move on to the next one, because I still have to go with 2 of them. Now these ones should be a bit more interesting, because these are not as... because these ones don't actually participate in a war. Okay, so now let's move on to Medusa, which I will call Anna. So I will refer to her as Anna now. So stat-wise, I can actually directly compare. And stat-wise, why does the image... for some reason it shot. Anyway, stat-wise, she's not that different. The only notable difference is the mana, obviously. The mana was the one that took the biggest hit. Her strength goes down by like... lowers the... her biggest hit was the mana, which is a very niche thing. I don't think it really matters that much in a war. The other hit that she got was in the strength, which went down by a rank, which makes sense. She's smaller, she's younger, makes sense that she's weaker physically. Her agility is still the same, and her endurance is still the same. Her luck is higher, but I don't really think luck matters outside of just some niche situations. Class skill-wise, she does have the magic resistance at the same rank, so she would have the exact same viability against casters as her rider form. So I don't think there's much to talk about that. She does have... there is one thing I do find interesting, which is her goddess essence. So normally... so basically, goddess essence is a version of divinity. Basically, she's a goddess. That's what this skill says. And what I find strange is normally high divinity translates into high mana, but for some reason she has just a low mana, which again comes full circle to what I was saying, that mana rank is very random in servants, and you will have strong servants with low mana and weak servants with high mana. So it's a very like hit or miss. As far as war is concerned, Goddess Essence does provide her with mental and physical resistances, so things like poison won't really work that well on her, and mental control will also not work that well on her. So I guess she gets a bit more bonuses against casters. Moving on to her personal skills. We need a version of adult for the first order. The adult Lancer Medusa. I mean, that would be interesting, but no, I'd be fine with that. But I think that version was also an alter version, so you would need a normal version and an alter version. Unless this is the normal version and the alter version is just the big boob lady. Anyway, moving on to the personal skills. Once again, she has the monstrous strength, which this time it's rank C. I guess she kind of does need it since her strength is lower. I get this means just Anna's just not as physically strong as her rider form, but she should still be relatively strong since she does still have monstrous strength. She does have then the affection towards beyond, which is a very weird skill. It is effectively a guts skill, which if you're into the game you will understand means that is a survival skill. And the way the skill is described is that essentially, how do I put this? Okay, I'm gonna give you a very simple example. Do you know how in anime, Medusa to be an assassin, when I started watching then she was a writer for some reason. I was gonna do a dirty joke, but I can't. I can't do that to Medusa. Anyway, as far as affection towards the beyond works, do you guys know how in anime you will have that situation where the MC, the main character, is on the ground, they're all beaten up, and they have this flashback, and suddenly they just get up, and somehow they're stronger than they were before they got beaten up, and they beat the main villain. That's basically what this skill is. Anna, because of all her memories with her sisters, just can last longer. It's a really weird ability. I guess the best way to describe it is the plot armor ability. It's the plot armor skill. She can, because of her memories, she could go farther than most people. That's good. That's her skill. And finally, the Siren Song, which is a very simple skill. Her voice is basically very charming, and most people will just become charmed by her voice. That's literally it. That is it. It's a passive skill. She can't really control it. Just talking is enough to charm other people, and the level of resistance is depending on how well you are at with your magic resistance. So yeah, that's basically it. Equals Shunen protagonist plot armor EX. Yes, that's basically what it is. It's basically what that skill is, which technically should make her an EX automatically, since it means she can't. No, that depends. If she's the MC, then it makes her EX. But if she's not MC, it basically means she's garbage. Oh no, that was bad. That was mean. Anyway, I wonder how this looks in the screen. Anyway, moving on to her Noble Phantoms. Her first Noble Phantom is very easy to explain. It is her scythe. It is the ARP. The ARP is the weapon used by Perseus to basically chop Medusa's head off, and that's her weapon. The ARP essentially only has a very unique ability, and it's a passive, which is basically whatever the ARP hits, if it is immortal, it will remove that immortality. That's basically its ability. It also has the extra ability of making wounds not being able to heal, which is always a bonus. But overall, the ARP is just a big scythe that against certain enemies is very powerful, but against other enemies, it's just a big weapon. I do wonder how this weapon would function against Hercules. That's actually a question. I should have, because I don't think this weapon is ranked, so I don't know if its rank is high enough to go bypass God's hand. And if it did bypass, would it prevent him from returning? That's a good question, but unfortunately I cannot answer because we probably will never know. So it says anti-divine weapon. Not exactly. It's an anti-immortal weapon. So if you're like a zombie, if you're like a vampire, if you're like a god, this will strip away that immortality. That's literally its ability. It's if you are immortal and you get hit by it, you are no longer immortal. That's literally its ability. It's a very simple but very niche ability. Which means that in most cases, it's just a big scythe. However, in some very specific cases, where you have enemies like, I don't know, like Hercules, who can come back from the dead, this can potentially stop him from coming back with just a single swing. Obviously, that's speculation. I don't know how it would interact with God's hand. Or if it would even bypass, because the ARP is not ranked, so I don't know if its rank is high enough. When ARP is a lance for Perseus. I think it was also a scythe for a Lancer, a Medusa, the adult version. I think it was also a lance. Now, sadly, Bad Wolf for Dracula. Okay. Moving on to the last Noble Phantom that she has, the Caress of the Medusa. I actually forgot to mention something in her skills, but doesn't matter at this point. So, Caress of the Medusa, what is this? It's basically her eyes. So, yeah, that's it. It's basically her eyes. So, in her rider form, as a Medusa, this was her skill, the Mystic Eyes, that turn everything to stone. As Anna, it is basically an activated Noble Phantom, which does mean it is nerfed. However, it does have the bonus that now she can actually control, right? The problem with the rider version is that she can technically turn her master into stone by accident. This one can't, but the problem is that it's activated. She has to activate it, which makes it a lot harder to use. The good part about the Medusa, well, I guess I can explain it once we get to tactics. However, it is the same thing. It is her eyes. It's just that she has to activate it now instead of just being a passive ability. The original one. What is this? Oh, this is the personalities. It's like, what? Why do I have a slide with Anna looking at a bread? Personality-wise, Anna's not that different from Medusa. She's basically the same. The one difference is that she is, well, childlike now, right? Because she's a child. So, whereas the adult Medusa will generally keep her emotions in, Anna will let them slip every so often, and actually to a very high degree, especially when it comes to extreme emotions like happiness and sadness. She will let them out. Anna versus Gorgon, look at me with those eyes. So as far as personality goes, she's not that different. She's just more childlike, and that's about it. So what about her traits when we compare it to the original? my true, that was a slip. Compared to the rider version, well, her loyalty is pretty much the same, since her personality is pretty much the same aside from being more childlike. Her speed is the same. The one thing to note is that she just lacks that power. She doesn't have the Pegasus anymore. She doesn't have the Blood Fort Andromeda anymore. And her eyes, which is basically the only thing she has, is now unactivatable. So she's really got nerfed in the power department. So, going down with tactics. This is going to be a hard one because tactics-wise, she's a lot more limited. I don't think you can go... I don't think you can use the normal tactic of just, well, let's go after enemy servants. Right? I don't think you can do that. As Enkidu stated, she is mostly a second-rate servant, although not really. One thing I will note, although Enkidu did say that she was a second-rate servant, and most of Babylon is her getting beaten up by everyone, she was being limited by Merlin's magecraft, which was then lifted when dealing with Gorgon. So I don't think she is a second-rate servant, but she is definitely much weaker than her rider form. However, so going back to tactics, how can you use her? I don't think a direct combat fight can work. It can, if you know the enemy servant has a low mana rank, then you can just have Anna use her eyes and it'll be the same result, right? The servant will be turned to stone and that's it. But if they have higher, then I don't actually think you can fight them head on. I mean, it depends on their strength. I think if it's just an average servant, Anna should be able to deal with them. But if they're anything higher than an average servant, then she's gonna have a hard time, as proven in Babylonia, where she gets her ass handed to her on multiple times. But what is her ability to assassinate masters? I think that would be the question. Because I think you do have to go after masters with her rather than going after servants. Her mystic eyes do make it a lot easier because technically she just has to see the master and then just activate the Noble Phantom. So it is easier, but I'm not exactly sure there's a lot of tactics you can go. I don't think you can turtle it through. With her, she's not very defensive. Great servant. I don't think you can use the tactic of turtling. She's not a very defensive servant. She doesn't really have any defensive abilities. So I think the only like viable tactic you can go with is to go after Masters and use her Noble Phantom, the eyes, to turn them to stone from a distance. I think that's your best bet with her. That said, I will say that you're not like in a horrible situation if you get her. She is still above average. Like even though she did get beaten by a lot of people, we do have to remember that these people were demigods and gods, right? We're talking Gilgamesh, Ishtar, Quetzalcoatl, Jaguar Man, Enkidu. These are not average servants. These are god-like servants that probably would normally wouldn't be summoned in a war, except for Gilgamesh. So she's not really a third-rate servant. Those guys are not even first-rate servants. Those guys are monsters servants. Those are monstrous servants. You can't turtle her. She's a snake. Oh, come on. But can you snake with her? What would be a snake tactic? I can't think of it. Oh well. Now I'm imagining her eating, like, I don't know, apples and just growing. Feed her bread and she grows. Yes, I think that would be it. Just use the snake tactic. Feed her bread and she grows longer. Anyway, I think that's about it for tactics. There's not really much to say about Anna too, because again, she doesn't have a specific tactic. She does have a niche that she can fall on, which thanks to her harp. So against like enemies, as actually Shat said very well, Dracula versus Anna, that would be a very good example, right? If there is, imagine you're in a war and Vlad Impaler is summoned, and he's in Dracula mode, going rampage and killing everyone. You could technically, in that situation, just wait it out, wait for Dracula to kill everyone, and then just send Anna and kill him immediately, because her weapon just makes him mortal, and there's nothing he can do. So there are niche situations like that, but in most cases, like, those are very rare. Most servants are not immortal like that. Okay, so going on with the rank. The rank. Well, she has to be lower than Ryder because she doesn't have the firepower. So she definitely has to go lower. Her eyes are also not as strong, so she does have to be also. Well, they're still the same, but they are activatable, which technically makes them nerfed. So, what would be a rank? So the other one for Medusa I gave A+. What would be A? No, A is too high. B+? I think B is around above average. I actually need to check. Hold on. I need to check who I have in my lists to make a comparison. Hold on. I wanted to make this as genuine as possible. B to A+ ish, I'd say. Yeah, I'm struggling between B or B+. Okay. So what do I have here? So B is good. B+ really good. And A is almost perfect. Who do I have in A? I actually don't know. I don't think she's A. She's definitely not A+, because that's where I put Medusa. She's definitely also not at A rank. She's not that strong. I do think she can beat a few servants on this list, but I think overall she's just weaker. What about B+? I think B plus is kind of fine. Yeah, yeah, B plus, B plus. It just seemed because of her eyes. If it wasn't for her eyes, I would put her at B, just from her ability to deal with, um, to survive against the all the servants that she did in Babylonia, which isn't easy. After all, that many of them were gods and whatnot. But because of her eyes, I'll give her a B plus. The her ability to one shot masters is still there, which does mean that like in the hands of a really competent master, like if you're very smart, like imagine you're like a Kiritsugu or like a Ring Tosaka, right? If you're a smart guy or a smart woman, um, you could very easily manipulate situations where you get a master just singled out, and then Anna just looks at them from a distance and immediately turns them to stone. So I think that potential puts her at B plus. In the hands of an average master, I do think she's a bit on the lackluster, but she's still above average. Like she's still very powerful. Plus her niche weapon, the ARP, can sometimes just let her one shot servants that she should realistically not be able to do, like Dracula, Hercules, and whatnot. So yeah, that's Anna. So we have A plus for her rider form and B plus for a lancer form. And now there's the one that I still don't know what I'm gonna rank. Gorgon. Oh god, Snake Lady. Anyway, looking at so this is the Avenger class. Let's be very clear, most Holy Grail lores will not have an Avenger, so chances of you summoning her are very slim. However, in the rare case that you do summon her, why is it like that in the screen, man? I have to fix this. PowerPoint, why are you not complying with me? Why you do this to me, PowerPoint? Why you change it all over the place? Anyway, going on with Gorgon. Gorgon. Right, what was going with Avenger? Just in the slim case that, hey, maybe in this war there are Avengers, how would Gorgon fare? Well, stat-wise, clearly there is a big difference compared to her previous forms. Um, strength and endurance is now A plus plus, which I mean it's basically short from EX. Obviously double B's. What's so hard about it? There is a B and a B there, yes. Um, so strength and endurance wise, she's very powerful when obviously compared to Anna and Medusa. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. There's one thing I do have to that I do have to point out about Gorgon. I did not know Gorgon was that small. So Gorgon, something maybe. We'll get there. We'll get there. I actually had to do research, which technically I do for all of them, but I had to do specific research about Gorgon's personality to figure out what I would rank her, and I still haven't figured it out. I don't think she will be a high rank though. Anyway, there is one thing I do have to point out. Gorgon is not big, despite how she might look in game. So in game, her model is really big, but her height is around 172 centimeters. Oh yeah, you guys are American. What is that in inches? I don't know how that is inches. Figure it out by converting. I'm European. I use the metric system. I don't know how inches work. But she's basically shorter than me, which is interesting. Even though, I mean, technically with her the way she poses, which is she puts her tail on the ground and she levitates her body, she can make herself look taller. But if she's has her feet planted on the ground, she's actually quite short. I mean, she's not short for a woman, I guess. For the average height, she's around-ish. I'm a British boy. Oh, can you share some tea with me? I'm. It's very hot here. I need cold tea. Uh, anyway, so yeah, she's not as large as I thought she was. I thought she would be like at least 2 meters or higher, but no, she's actually short. Well, not short, but she's normal sized. Um, Stat wise, aside from her strength and endurance, everything's within range. Her agility is smaller, but that's because, well, she traded speed for power. So let's go hit her class skills, which are all unique to the Avenger class. We have the first one, Avenger rank B. The Avenger skill is a very simple skill. Basically, the more people hate her, the stronger she gets. That's it. That's all there is to it. That is the skill. The more people hate her, the more hatred there is around her, the more despair there is around her, including her own hatred, the stronger she gets. So there you go. Yeah, the more hate there is, the stronger she is. A very simple ability. Oblivion Correction is a weird one. I'm not entirely sure how this one works, but it seems, from its description, it seems to imply that basically there is no way for an Avenger to forget their hatred. So I assume this means that they are resistant to mind control and the like. You can't really make them like calm down, for example. You can't really, for example, a caster wouldn't be able to use a spell to calm her down, because this skill would be like, nah, my hatred is too much for that. Something like that. And her last skill, which is a very good skill actually, self-replenishment magic, rank A. It is exactly what it sounds like. She replenishes her own mana, which basically makes her independent from a master to a certain degree, which is scary in an Avenger, but it's still a good skill to have. It means that you're not going to get mana drained from her like some berserkers will do to you. And considering she is an Avenger, that's a pretty good deal. Moving on with her personal skills, again, we see the monstrous strength there. And oh god, I forgot. Oh god. No, but in the anime, she was in her Tiamat form, and in that form, she's gigantic. In her summonable form, right? As a servant, she's normal sized. Only in the anime was she big. Did I forget what demonic mutation does? Oh my god, I forgot what demonic mutation does. I'll get there. Anyway, what do I have? Mystic Eyes. So she has the Mystic Eyes. They are a rank... Wait, I forgot this. Hold on. I didn't even notice the music stopped. I need to turn on the music. So her Mystic Eyes are ranked higher. They are stronger than her previous form. She is able to control them now, whereas before she had no control over them. So there is that bonus. However what? There's no however. The other part is that apparently they are now beams now. I don't know if that's just the anime way to do it, but I mean, in the anime, she wasn't throwing beams all over the place, and some of them were destructive, some of them only turned people to stone, so it's very confusing. I'm not sure about it. However, her Mystic Eyes, at the very least, are now controllable, meaning she can turn them off or on at any moment, and they do seem to have a bit more destructive power to them. Going on with hers, what is it? Scream of Fear? Yes, Scream of Fear. Basically, she can cause fear to her enemies by just screaming. Think of it like a roar. She just goes roar, and everyone is terrified. And that's essentially it. It's a very simple skill. It's, she doesn't have it in game, surprisingly, but she does have it. Oh, okay, here is the... Okay, I have it. Demonic Mutation. Okay, I understand it. It's another version of... Jesus, she could just go bananas here. So, Demonic Mutation basically is a skill that increases her physical abilities. So her strength and endurance are even higher than they were. So yeah, she is basically very strong and very tanky. That is essentially what the skill says. Wait, where is it? Here we go. Not much to say about it. They're mostly the same. Scream of Fear seems more like an ability, like you go, you know, one like a game ability where you just, okay, I'm gonna scream now, and you're all afraid. It does cause the enemy's defense to go down, so there's that benefit. Moving on to the Noble Phantoms, which we do have 2 of them. Oh, look who's back. Breaker Gorgon. Breaker Gorgon is the same one. There's no difference from the Rider version. Much like the Fate Stay Night version, we also did not see her use this Noble Phantom in any offensive way. However, technically speaking, she can hypnotize people and send them into her mind to do all kind of, I don't know, stuff. So yeah, it's the same as the Rider version. So let's move on to her most powerful Noble Phantom and her last Noble Phantom, Pandemonium Cetus. So Pandemonium Cetus is essentially a more powerful version of Bloodfort Andromeda, which the Rider version had, but with a key difference. Well, actually, 2 key differences, or 3 differences. The first one is there is no setup. She just activates it and it happens, which is a big upgrade from Bloodfort Andromeda. Bloodfort Andromeda, you needed several days to set it up before you could start melting people. This one, she just goes, well, I'm killing you, and the entire area around her just starts melting. The other difference is that it is much stronger than it was before. So in her Bloodfort version, it was mostly for collecting mana. It would kill the people inside, turn them to goo, and she would get the mana out of it. In this form, it is just a nuke. Anything that's organic will be instantly just liquefied. Just dead. You are gone. You didn't even blink and you're dead. I was even looking at its description, and its description to set up was, even first-rate servants will be heavily damaged, which is a really nice way to put that. If you're an average servant, you just die. And this is not, and unlike how the anime portrayed it or how the game portrays it, it's not a beam. This is a bonded field that she just wishes to have, and it just plops onto the earth, and everything within it just dies. It does have a weakness in that it doesn't deal well with inorganic matter. So for example, a puppet would be probably fine. It would still take a lot of damage, but it wouldn't be liquefied. But if you're like plant matter, any organic matter, you just die inside. You need to be really powerful to be able to survive. And it's kind of shown by how this was able to break Tiamat's horn. Sure, it was cracked already by Quetzalcoatl, but I mean, if Quetzalcoatl had to crack it with her Noble Phantom, which was basically a meteor, and this one had to be used to break it, then I'd say this one is around the same, I wouldn't say around the same level, but probably similar in terms of destructiveness. The scary part is just how easy it is to deploy. There is one problem though, and that's that Gorgon has to turn into her monstrous form to use it, which, depending on how she's feeling, can be difficult, because Gorgon's entire personality, which we will get there, is about rejecting that monstrous side. So if she doesn't want to, she might not use it. Well, she's not rejecting her monstrous side, but she's a bit hesitant to use it, let's put it that way. There is a lingering fear inside her. So she's not just gonna use this willy-nilly, but she's also not gonna be hesitant to use it if she needs to. Um, so, moving on to the part that I had to look through. Which one of you did you... One of you talked about it. Oh, yeah, here you go. How would she rank? So, personality-wise, which is the difficult part, I actually put here text. So, do you understand how dangerous of a personality she is? So, I will read what is here. So, her bond level 5. So, this is what she says when you basically make her lovey-dovey to you. For this contract to have lasted so long, I was waiting for you to realize your mistake and throw me out, but this is what I get. It seems you weren't the only fool here. Your fate will not change, but I will kill you gently at least. And then you have what is here from her wiki page. If by any chance they manage to deepen the bonds with each other, her master will then acquire a great power. However, one should nonetheless realize that Gorgon is a diverging existence with a different standpoint from humans. Both her affection and her love are not meant for kinship with humans. So, from these texts, I think it's very clear that she'll kill the master, regardless of whether there's a bond or not. However, I never took that. I'll be very honest, I do have her, and I do have her at bond level 5, and I never took that line serious. For me, it felt more like she was teasing me. But I can understand if that is like she's being literal and she'll still kill you at the end of it. As far as personality, again, she's not that different from the Rider version, but in this particular version, she has accepted her monstrous side to a higher degree than the other two forms, and there is a berserkishness to her, a bit of bloodthirst and sadistic nature, which is where it comes from, which is why there is a bit of a danger. However, she's still obedient, which is the strange part. Like, she will still act as if she is a tool, and she will still do what you tell her. There's just that problem that at the end, you might not live. We could say that maybe she's loyal. Very weird one. Wait. Okay. For some reason, the stream had stopped for me. Okay, it's back. I saw the internet had just gone down for a moment there. Good. Okay. We're still here. Jesus, I almost panicked there. The stream had stopped for a moment. Anyway, continuing on. Her traits. She's clearly overpowered. She still has her eyes, which are now stronger, and she has basically a nuke as a noble phantom that she can just instantly drop at any moment. She's still fast despite her size. I mean, obviously she's not as fast, she's not jumping around, but her agility isn't that different. And again, her size isn't actually that different, it's still around the same. She just has a big tail now. The one thing that is probably the biggest one is her loyalty, because apparently she will kill you by the end of it. I'm not sure, we will get there. So as far as tactics goes, is there a tactic that you can use that's unique to her? I don't think so. I mean, she's just a powerhouse. She just kills people, and that's it. She's just gonna kill, and there's not much you can do. But there is one thing you will need to do at the very least, which is you need to get that bond level up, man, because if there's a chance she kills you at the end, even with bond level 5, it is guaranteed she's gonna kill you with bond level 0. So you need to raise that bond level. How you do it, I have no idea. How do you raise it, actually? She is a snake. Maybe feed her a lot of snake food? I don't know. Actually, probably that would piss her off. Don't do that. Don't. Ignore what I said. She does have similar personality, so maybe books would work. The original writer does the writer version does like books. I think the Anna version doesn't. Well, maybe she still likes books. I don't know. I actually not sure how you would handle her. How you would raise her personality, her bond, other than interacting with her. And not being Shinji. Don't be a Shinji, because that will get you killed instantly, I imagine. But yeah, that's not like a tactic with her, because she's just a powerhouse. If it were not for her, her mindset of, well, I'm gonna kill you, then she would be an EX, like, automatically, because of how powerful she is. But because she does have her personality, which is risky for the master, I mean, not even risky, it's actually life-threatening to the master, it's a bit more complicated, and so she won't be an EX. But overall, the tactics you use don't really matter. The only tactic you should really be using is raising that bond level, whatever tactic it is. I don't know how you would raise her bond level. I actually don't know how you would do it, aside from just interacting with her. I mean, if I remember the bond level lines, it seems that the way her bond level went up was by just being persistently persistently interacting with her, because she does push you back, and every comment she makes is about how you should keep your distance from her. So just interacting with her on a daily basis, and being in general a good person, probably a good friend, might be enough to raise her bond. And then whether or not you survive, I don't know. That's where we're gonna talk now. Her rank, I have no idea. I legitimately do not know. Let's see. Not an EX. The first question I have to put is she an E rank? Right? That's the first question. Because if she just kills you, then she's an E rank. Because, I mean, you can't win with her. She can win the war, but you, the master, can't win. So is she an E rank? Let me check. Who do I have here on E rank? Hercules and Dantes. I mean, those make sense. They just kill you outright. Gorgon will not kill you outright. Oh, right. I forgot. Wait, let me go back. There is a tactic you can use with Gorgon. Although, the fact that she's an Avenger, I'm not sure if it will work. And it will hurt me to say it, because I love her. But you can always use a command spell at the end to force her to end herself. And maybe you can survive that. I don't know. The fact that she's an Avenger tells me that if you do that, she's just going to go bananas on you and kill you. And because of her skills of Avenger that basically just keep her going so long as she feels hatred, maybe that wouldn't be enough to kill her, and that would guarantee kill you. However, let's be very honest. Let's imagine that you're in the war, you have her, and you haven't raised her bond level enough. That might be, even if it is a risky tactic, it might be your only option, right? Because if you don't use it, you just die. And if you use it, you might not die. However, if you do raise our bond level, enough, I say bond level as if it is like a real world mechanic. If you become, if you actually manage to gain her affection, you probably shouldn't use this tactics. It will be a betrayal and it will make her even worse. And there's still the chance that she might not kill you by the end. So there you go. There's an extra tactic you can do. Just use your command skills to end her by the end of the war. That way you might survive. Maybe. Probably not, because Avenger classes are annoying like that. So, with that in mind, now that I said that, I don't think she deserves the E rank. Because you could always use a command spell to, protect yourself, to end her without yourself dying. And the fact that she doesn't immediately kill you, and that you can still go through the war as if it is a normal war until the end, gives you a lot of space to work with her, right? Because the thing about Gorgon is that the only problem is the ending, right? Up until the ending, you're fine. She's gonna do what you tell her to do. She's gonna kill enemies. You're gonna have a fine life. It's only by the end. Oh, hello, Anxious Mac. Welcome to the stream. I'm actually by the end of it. I mean, by the end. There's probably still like 20 minutes or something of going. But hi there. Thanks for joining. So it's only by the ending of the war that you have to worry with Gorgon. And that kind of gives you a lot of space and tactic that you can use to maybe wiggle yourself into a victory without dying. Because she'll only kill you by the end. And there's a chance she won't kill you if you gain her affection. And you can always use a command spell to end her. And there's also the circumstances that you might have enemy servants that result in a double KO by the end. You never know. So I think just the fact that you can still fight in the war until the end makes her, like, at least not rank E, right? She's usable at the very least. The big question is, which one would I put her in? She's not an EX because she is nightmarish to handle, right? Because even if you make her like you, there's a chance she'll kill you. So it's not secured. But she's basically trample everyone, aside from that. Ah, man, I actually don't know what rank I would put. Remember your humanity. Huh. I don't know if that's a bit too vague. That would be, I don't know. I feel like I'm just thinking of, like, I'm imagining a story, and, like, you know, like the main character and who summoned Gorgon, and they're at the end of the war, and there's this conflict, you know, happening where Gorgon wants to kill the main character, and the main character uses a command spell like that. I don't know. It feels like it would be kind of cheesy. I feel like that would just be cringe if it worked. which normally means it works, right? Oh man, what do I put her in? I don't know if I should put her high rank. A rank? Because the thing is, and this is the thing, her power is unquestionable. If you have her, you're probably going to kill every single servant that shows up in front of you. There's a very few specific servants that can survive her. You know, like Hercules, Gilgamesh, love the cheese. Achilles. Actually, Achilles, she doesn't have divinity, does she? I don't think she has divinity. No, she doesn't have divinity. So Achilles would also be fine with her. So overall, like, there's only very specific, like, high power servants that would be able to stop her. Outside of that, she's basically unstoppable. Like, she'll just trample over everyone. Would easily step and sit on to death. I do wonder how she would kill you gently. Would she like choke you? just I don't know if sitting on you would be a gentle death. I feel like that would be a bit too. I don't know. That would be a gentle way to die. It would be a kinky way to die, but I don't know if I would be gentle. Maybe she would do it with her breasts. Just stuff you with her breasts, and be like, "Well, now now I'm gonna choke you." Oh God, no! Wait, that sounds wrong. Hold on. Anyway, a rank. I have to think of a rank. It's not easy though. Okay, let's see. I'm not gonna put her at E. I'm not gonna put her at D, and I'm not gonna put her at C. I'm not gonna put her at EX. I'm not gonna put. Am I gonna put her at A+? Into the Valley of Death. Yes, that's basic. There you go. That's how she will kill you. That's how she'll kill you gently. She'll put you in her valley. Oh god. A plus. The A plus is so close to perfect. Her only flaw is that she might kill you in the end. Outside of that one flaw, she is essentially a perfect servant. Because of just how powerful she is. She's even obedient, right? Aside from the little small detail that she'll kill you by the end, she's still obedient. She'll still do what you tell her to do. I might actually consider her an A+. Because she's almost there. It's just that small detail. And the fact that you can maybe work it out, you know, through various means, such as using a command seal through various, you know, maybe remember your humanity. That might work. I don't know. Also just committing, you know, seppuku might work. Forcing her to end her life. Gaining her affection with her. There's a lot of ways out of it. There's a lot of methods out of it. This feels like basically like the fact that she's so powerful is just pulling her up so high, and the fact that there's a way around. I'll give her an A+. Yeah, I've decided it will be an A+ for the purposes of my ranking. It will be an A+, because I think that so long as you don't changey it, so long as you don't act as a changey, and you just interact as a decent human being, you probably will be fine. Here, we'll put her in the Valley of Death. There we go. An A+ for the Valley of Death. And there we go. Okay, now I have to do it in the actual my tier list. Hold on. Now I have to pull my tier list. And I have to show it where am I going. Okay. You sound like the little small detail that she'll kill you. You sound like Mikia talking about Shiki. Actually, now that you say that, I do think I remember them saying that. Okay, please go away. I don't need your publicity. Okay, so that's the end of it, but I still have to do this, and I'm gonna show it. So let me get this. Hold on. Okay, show this. We don't need the publicity. There we go. There we go. Nice and dandy. Where do we see? Can we see your tier list linked? Oh, I don't have that. How do I even do that? Can I do that? Oh, yeah, I can share it on Twitter. It says here, share on Twitter. I can do that. Can I share it anywhere else? No. But I can share it on Twitter, because I do have a Twitter account that I mostly use for publicity. Mostly just, hey guys, I'm doing a stream, come check. Because I don't do Twitter. Okay, so it's all the Medusas. I need to find them. Oh boy. Okay, we have Gorgon here. We can already put her in the A+. Where's the other one? Where's the other ones? Okay, Medusa should be up here, right? Because she's one of the first. Wait, is this not organized by? No, this is organized by. Here we go. Okay, they're both together. Nice. Wait, where did I rank her? What did I rank? A+ too. So both are A+. I guess that makes sense. And Anna is B+. There we go. So this would look like this. There you go. That's the current state of the tier list that I am making of how good they would be in a servant war, in a Holy Grail war. Medusa rider form A+, mostly because while she is basically she slaughters every single weak and average servant. Against stronger servants, she will have a much more difficult time. Anna is a B+ because she is just an above average servant, but with nothing noteworthy about her aside from some niche situations where she has high affinity. Sees all servants that might be ranked 2. Sees all the servants that maybe might be ranked 2. What do you mean? Heavy breeding. Oh, you mean... Oh, I get. You're talking about all the servants I have to do? You're talking about this monstrosity? Oh, well, the good part is half of them are swimsuits. That's the good part. Half of them are swimsuits and Christmas outfits, so I can just ignore those. But anyway, how's it going? Anna, mostly an above average servant with nothing really noteworthy. Like, she's not really strong, like overpowered. She doesn't really have a powerful ability, but she still has her mystic eyes, which give her like an edge against other servants. She can still one-shot a lot of low-grade servants and a lot of normal servants, and of course her ability to just kill masters is still there because she can just turn them to stone. And Gorgon is A+ because, again, she's ridiculously overpowered for a servant, and the fact that you still have an entire war to work out with her to not die by the end, I think is enough. I think most people would be able to handle Gorgon. Like, I think the only people who wouldn't be able to handle Gorgon are those who would be either scared of her or Shinji. Right? I think those are the only two type of peoples that would have a hard time dealing with her. People who are scared of her because, you know, maybe they have trauma from snakes. Maybe they just don't find her to. Maybe they just find her to be too monstrous. Maybe they don't like how aggressive her hair is. Or you're a Shinji, and I mean, if you're a Shinji, you're just gonna die. So, good luck with that. So yeah, this is the Servant War Room live. I mean, overall, I actually think it was quite nice. It was also interesting, you know, getting to see what people thought about ranks that I was giving. Now, I do wonder what I'm going to do next, because I'm going to do more. So I wonder which one I should focus on. I originally, when I thought about doing this, I was going to do Nursery Rhyme. However, I wasn't sure how long this stream would take. I didn't know how long it would take, and I was afraid that if I did a single servant, they would be too short. So I picked Medusa just to be sure. Okay, I'm pretty sure I can at very least do an hour with this. And how long have I been doing this? An hour and 44. Okay. Maybe I can do several. You like the at least? I think he is kind of good. I do like Fate Extra Changey. He is nice. I will give you that. When I say changey, I mean the Fate Stay Night one. That one can die and that one could go to hell. Screw him. I hate him. Hold on. Let me change this. He can changey. The Fate Stay Night changey can go to hell. There you go. Behold my expressions. Haha. Anyway. Do you guys? So here's the big one. Which servant would you guys like for me to do next? And I might do a group. So instead of doing one servant, I might do several. Because if I do one servant, it'll be like an hour. Not even an hour, like maybe 30, 40 minutes. If I do several, I can at least do like what I'm doing now, which is like 2 hours. So maybe 3 servants would be nice. What 2 servants would I do? If you guys want me to do a specific servant, you can say it, and I'll look at it. Well, I'll look at it. I'll consider it. Which, considering I don't really have an idea yet of what next servants I'm gonna do, that would be helpful. Let's see. Is there any servants who have multiple forms? Expressions bog. Yes. Behold, expressions. I can have my eyes like this. I can cry. I can be mad. And I can be a potato. Yes. This is my new one. I can be a potato to express my PC. Potato PC. This will be, from now on, this is my true form. Okay, which servant has multiple forms that I could work on? I guess Archer has multiple forms, don't? Do Napoleon. Napoleon. Where is Napoleon? Napoleon. Where is he? Oh, hold on. Mash is M. So Napoleon should be around... No. Wait. Am I... Valkyria are here, so he should be here, right? Oh, here we go. I found it. I found Napoleon. Okay, Napoleon. Sure, I could do Napoleon. Maybe I just go for a French group then. Just go for a French group. Napoleon. Who's another servant that's French? Let's go with her. Yeah, we could do her. What's her name? Oh my god, I forgot her name. Corday? I knew her name. Like, I knew her name. Even recently, I found I had a book of her in my house without even knowing I had the book. And Astolfo? Oh god, no. I don't want to touch that yet. I could do Marie Antoinette, but I feel like that would be a weird one. Artoria. Artoria. Oh, both. No. When I do Artoria, it will be all of them. Like, all of them. It's like just in one big one. How many are there even? Oh, I don't, like, is Lily Saber, does Lily Saber count? There's also the caster one, which is going to, like, when the Avalon's Lost Spell comes out, will be relevant. No, I'm sorry, I can't do Artoria yet, because I'm waiting for a bit longer, because I have to mentally prepare myself for when I do all the Artorias. There's so many of them that I don't remember too many. There's Saber Artoria. I don't know if Lily counts. I have to check. But if she counts, that's an extra one. There's both. Oh, there's also Saber Altar. There's Artoria, and there's Artoria Lancer and Artoria Lancer Altar. The swimsuits don't count to me. There's Caster Artoria. Oh my god, do I have to do the Star Wars one? The Saber Wars one? I do not want to do the Saber Wars one. I hate that meme. I hate it. I don't like Star Wars. I don't want to do that. I guess I will have to do them though. Oh, but no, they're joke characters. They have like galaxies going around and whatnot. Oh, I don't know. I have to think a bit more about that. I will have to think about Artoria one. It will take a long time to prepare. I'm sorry. but in the future, I will eventually get to them. So, I think I'll do a French theme one next. So, Napoleon, Corday, I think it's her name. What can I do next? What is another French one? I think I've already done a few French ones, haven't I? Yeah, Dion, Henry, Musizuki Shiomi. Musizuki Shiomi. Wait, who's that? Is that a new one? I actually don't know who that is. Like, I'm sorry. In terms of the Japanese names, I get a bit lost with the more recent ones. The older ones I remember, but the newer ones I have a bit difficulty. Is she a caster? Musizuki Shiomi. Is it this one? I don't know if it's this one. Am I gonna have to Google it? Okay. Wait, hold on. I'm gonna. Oh, but if I do this, I don't have the chat visible. I don't want to show you guys my. Hold on. Let me just Google this quickly. Close this. Can't let you guys see my history. Anyway. Musi Zuki. She appeared in Shimosa. Yeah, I saw it was gonna be the rainbow one, but she appeared in Shimosa. Then she's not. Oh, she's assassin. Oh, sure. Actually, yeah, that I forgot because that's one of the few that I actually never remember the name. For me, she's assassin of Snake Assassin. That's how I remember her, Snake Assassin. Okay, where is she? Her name starts with an M, so she should be around the M's. Where's Mash? Mash was around here somewhere. Okay, here we go. We found her. A bit out of place, but sure, I could do that. Napoleon. What's the name again? Shiomi. Okay, Shiomi. I can kind of say that. Shiomi. Do you guys want anyone else? Because otherwise I'll do Corday. If you guys have any other one you want to see, I don't mind doing it. I'll do 3 servants this at a time, since that will give me around 2 hours to work with, which seems pretty good for a stream. Otherwise I'll just have like 20-minute streams or whatever, and that's a bit too small for a stream. So Napoleon, Shiomi. I mean, I can't go the French theme now. What other one? Napoleon appeared in the the Northern Lost Belt. Shiomi appeared in the Atlantean Lost Belt. Who appeared in the Indian Lost Belt? Do I go for you? I could go for the Indian Janark. Okay, this group seems good. Yeah. Okay, so next one will be Napoleon, Shiomi, and Indian Jeanne d'Arc. I shouldn't call her that, but that's the only way I can remember her. Go French. Lakshmi. Go French. I could go French, but I like making people happy. I'm a pleaser. Okay, I'm done being a potato. No more potato. Wait, did it change? It did change. Okay, no more potato. I'm done being a potato. Okay, so next ones will be these 3. I can do thematic after that, but because I don't really know when I'm gonna do the stream. While we're there, I can also talk about how this is going to go. So right now, because I have this little program here that allows me to have a moving face. Oh, so pleasing. My PC can't handle games, so I can't do stream games anymore. I mean, I can, but they look garbage. The quality isn't the worst. But I am getting a PC next week. So, I am gonna shift a bit my content, at least for this week, until I get a PC, my new PC, up and running, because after I get it, I have to install all the software, because it's gonna be a custom-made PC. But that's still gonna take some time too. But once I have it running, I'll go back to getting a bit more stable with streaming. And for the time being, I'm gonna be not gonna be gaming. It will be a bit more all over the place. I will probably be using Fate Grand, be doing streams like this week a lot more than I'm used to. And so expect next stream of Servant War Room in the near next days. I already have a stream for tomorrow. Tomorrow it will be a special day. I'll be streaming with 2 friends, and we'll basically be talking about a game that I very much play in my well, as a hobby, which is Magic the Gathering, because a new set came out, and we're basically going to be reacting to all the new cards. Even if you don't understand, think about if you're like have nothing else to do, you could just join. It'll be a fun time. After that, I don't know what I'm gonna do Sunday yet. I'm still thinking. I might do another FGO one. I might do something else, but that will be it. That is basically my notice. I will be shifting my content a bit this week, because I'm basically waiting for my PC to finally be ready so that I can actually start streaming like decent content instead of just being low quality whatever games I have. So proud of all active 7 viewers. I'll be very honest, I'm happy I have even 1 viewer. So you know, like I'm happy just having 1 viewer. You know, just having like we're just 7 viewers, but a chat that's very active. That's nice, you know. Active viewers is a lot good. Oh god, I'm tripping all over my words. But anyway, that will be it for today. We saw all the free Medusas. Hopefully, with the next summer coming up, we finally get our summer Medusa. Hopefully, Medusa or Gorgon and not Anna. I mean, I don't mind if it's Anna, but I will feel cheapened if Anna gets swimsuit and Medusa doesn't. So anyway, yeah, that will be it for now. I'll be ending the stream here. Thank you all for watching. You all made this a lot more enjoyable. You all also helped me kind of be able to see whether or not this would work in a stream format, and it did work in a stream format. A bit blunders here and there, but blunders are fun. People like blunders. So thank you all for watching. This was jorgiguel, and until next time, bye bye.